Shaking. Hey everyone. Every time I press play on my phone, it's on this thing that's mounted, it like shakes. So that's why when it first came on, I was shaking a little bit. So welcome back to another FlossTube. This is my channel about cross stitching, beaded cross stitching, diamond painting, and whatever other craft I decide to add and throw in there and try out. This time it's knitting, and that's going interesting. So, and we'll get to that in a minute when I show you some of the things that I'm working on. I should make a list because I can never remember what I'm supposed to be talking about. So it's been a couple of weeks since I have been on here, I guess, and still the reason why is that it is just hard for me to make videos because my husband is still working from home. He did actually go into the office today. I'm so mean. I'm mean, but I'm just like, you're cramping my style. Can't make videos. So some of the videos I've made are like ones with voiceovers or whatever, because I'll just do the voiceover out in my car. I'll do like film in the video part in my house, and then I'll go out and I'll put a voiceover in my car so you can't hear me. I know, I'm being super secretive. But anyway, so he's at the office today, so I decided I'd do a video on what I'm working on. FlossTube, I have been working on some cross stitch, not a whole lot of cross stitch. I've been working on beaded cross stitch and anyway, other things. So what's been going on the past couple of weeks? Just pretty much the same things that have been going on for you know, the 2 weeks before that. We did move my son back to college, and he's happy to be back there, but I'm a little concerned because it's a pretty large university, and there's just going to be a lot of people there, you know. And he has been working up until he left. He worked up until he worked from June till like August. I mean, we worked for a good 2 months, and he got his internship out of the way. So I'm happy about that, and he made a little bit of money. So hopefully he doesn't like spend all that money like the first 2 weeks back at school. So we got him back there, and let's see what else happened. Oh, one of the hottest days of the year, I told you about this, my air conditioner went out. I think the last video I made, I had fans going. We did have that replaced with a furnace, like the air conditioned furnace combo, whatever, because it's been over 20 years since we've moved into this house, and those two things have never been replaced. We've been lucky that they haven't, but so they've got the air in, and that's why I'm wearing a sweatshirt, because it gets freezing in here now. So I'm not complaining about that. I don't have to keep it down as low as I did. And since my son is gone, where his room is upstairs, I can turn that way up, and it just kind of helps. So we have air conditioning, yay, and you know, cost a lot of money. That kind of stuff costs a lot of money to get. But I was actually kind of sad to see my window unit go away, because I had to give it back when they started. It worked so well. I mean, I have never used one of those before. I was so impressed with how it cooled off my bedroom. I would totally recommend getting one if you don't have air conditioning. Or as an in-between, you know. Let's see, what else happened this week? Anything exciting? You know, really, I don't really have anything to add. It's just, I took my husband wants me to go back to work, but I'm so used to being like retired, or not really retired. I say retired, but I'm so used to not going into work. It's gonna be an adjustment, but and then I wanted my schedule, because we do like take trips, and I don't want to have to worry with taking off a day. I didn't want something full-time, in other words. I wanted my schedule to be flexible. And so I signed up to be a substitute teacher. I have worked in the school system before. I actually was a parapro for 7 years, so I'm a little bit familiar with how the age that I'm going to substitute for, how it works. I mean, and it's kindergarten through 5th grade. But this year is going to be completely different. I mean, and I really don't know, and my mom does not want me to do it. And I don't know, I filled out all the paperwork. I took a 4-hour, I had to take like a substitute training class, which I've done in the past, but usually you go in and do it, and this one was all online. I had to pay for it, which kind of stinks, but anyway, you had to take all these like little subclasses, and at the end you take a assessment of what you've learned. And when I got around, I worked on it for 4 hours, and when I got around to my assessment time, it was timed. I'm not a good test taker. I freak out when I take tests, but it was timed, and I had to score like 85% or better. I was nervous about it, y'all. I was like, oh my gosh, because the questions were tricky to me. They were, you had to really think about them. And so I started taking the test, like I said, and of course the sun has decided to like shine brightly in my eyes. Started taking the test, and we started getting this really major thunderstorm. It was early afternoon, I think on Monday. And it was lightning, it was thundering, it was pouring down rain. Our lights were flickering on and off. I was so afraid that we would lose electricity and my Wi-Fi would go down during the middle of this test. I mean, I was just like, boom, answering questions. I was just, on some of them, I was just guessing. I was like, I just got to get through this test. I mean, if I can take, I knew I would be able to take it over again at some point, but I got through it, and I was like, oh, how it says you have to check your answers to see what you scored. And I was like, there's no way I got 85% of this right, but I did. I got 92%. So I got my little certificate, and it has my name on it. And my husband, for one part of the test, he came upstairs, and he was like standing over me. Like he was standing over me reading the questions. And I just turned around and I was like, will you leave? Will you leave? Anyway, he was like, you're making me nervous. And he's like, oh, sorry. I was just trying to read the questions. I'm like, just go. But I did. And then I went downstairs and I was like, I got it. And I printed off my certificate. And so that part's over. Now I got a few more things to do. But school around here starts next week. But I'm going somewhere. So I'm not gonna start substituting right away. I want them to kind of have some time to figure out what they're doing as far as kids coming back into the schools right now. So anyway, that's that. That's what's been going on. Really boring, not exciting at all. Let's get on with stitching. Okay, so the sun, like I said, I hope you can see me because I'm having a hard time seeing. So this is what I've been working on as far as cross stitching. Well, there's one other thing, and this video is gonna be pieced together. There's gonna be lots of starts and stops. Okay, so I found this downstairs in my basement. I ordered this last year. It is from Mill Hill. It's one of those, I don't know what you call them, cross stitch beading kits. And this is called Snowy Owl Snowman. And it's a design by Jim Shore. Sorry, there's like a reflection, but it's just a cute little snowman with an owl. Sorry, gosh, with an owl, and has beads and everything in it. And this is what I've done so far. This takes a surprisingly long time. It's on that, you know, perforated paper, perforated, how do you say that? And there are some beads in there. But so yeah, and it's supposed to be like a little ornament, I think. But I wanted to try one. And so that's what I've done as far as cross stitching. I lied, I take it, I'm just kidding. I'm going to be right back and get my other thing that I've been working on. Okay, I'm back. This is the other thing that I've been working on, and that's as far as I have gotten on this. This is from Autumn Lane Stitchery, and it's called The Witch's Spell. And the part that I'm working on right now, this is, you can't even tell because of it, but this is like part of the witch's hat. I'm starting like in the middle of this design. It's just, I don't know what the deal is with me and cross stitch lately. I can't get comfortable, and I'm having a hard time seeing, and I don't really understand why. It's frustrating because I really do want to work on it. But now that my son, now that my son has gone back to college, I really want to work on the one that I'm doing for him, which is the Napoleon Dynamite one. And I haven't worked any on that in 2 weeks. Okay, now those are the two cross stitch things I've worked on. That's it. But I did make a purchase, which I'll show you in a minute. Okay, this is a beaded cross stitch that I've been working on, and I really just enjoy doing this. I think it's just the sparkly colors. So this is like a sunset, boats on the water kind of picture, right? And so what I've done so far is I've just done I probably showed this already, but I've done this middle part, because I actually did that in the car when I was traveling at one point. But right now I'm working on this section right here. And then I think when I finish that, I think I'm gonna move on to another section and do some different colors because I'm getting sick of the colors. But you can see the beads there. And they're those tiny little I'll just show you some of them. Little beads that look like this. They're pretty. And there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, like 17 colors. This is gonna take me a long time because it takes me a long time to do this. And I am using 2 beads at a time, but I still like it. Okay, so that's one of the beaded cross stitch projects that I'm working on. Let me go get the other ones. Okay, I've showed this before. This is the Christmas cardinal or whatever, and that's how far I've got on it. I think when I showed it last time, I was like right over here or something. No, wait, I was over here. And so you can see that I've done the Santa hat, or the Santa hat's getting finished. And now I came back over here and I'm working my way back over this way. And this, when I get down to here, I think it's like halfway. So that's coming along. And that's done on 14, I believe it's 14 count Aida. It's a different kind of Aida. And I say I believe it's 14 because I have another project that I'm working, or that I worked on. I worked on this one most of July. What month is this? Or what month was last month? July. For the Jolly July. But I decided, I did something, and I'll explain to you what I did in just a second. But when I was working on that beaded cross stitch of the bird, the Christmas bird, I started thinking, because it's on Aida, I wonder if I could do like my own pattern or a different pattern if I had the beads and everything on a piece of Aida, like cross stitching, but purchasing the beads instead. And then I was like, oh, that would just take too much work, and you know, I'd have to figure out everything, and I'd have to figure out what kind of beads to get, and it would just be costly, and so I decided not to do it. But then when I was researching for beaded cross stitch on Amazon, there is a company that I found that makes the bead. Well, I've known about them because I did another project from them. It was a squirrel. I think I've showed that in an earlier one. They have some of their kits. Now you have to really go in and look at the pictures that they show of their kits that have a pattern included with them. They have the piece of like silk that has the pre-printed pattern on it. It's basically you're just stitching over the color or whatever. I mean, there's, you know, a key on the side. But some of them, not all of them, come with a pattern. I'm not really sure why. I guess maybe if they're colors that are similar, then you can look at go to the pattern and you can kind of pick out, it'll help you figure it out or whatever. So I found this one, and I mean, I don't really know what I'm gonna do with it, but this is kind of an experiment. And it was, you know, but the thing is it had all the beads that came with it, everything that came with it. I was like, I'm gonna try this on a piece of 14 count Aida that I have. And so the design that I got is this, okay? The only thing, in the piece of silk or satin or whatever that I got that goes with this, it is, all of this is beaded except for, I think this little trellis thing here, but all of this is beaded on there, okay? So I got out my fabric. I picked a piece of fabric. You're gonna be like, what? But I picked one that didn't have like really any conflicting colors. And I started working on it, and it's working with the 14 count Aida. Now I have to be very careful because sometimes, or some of these beads, it's not perfect because, and this is the width of the whole design. It's not like it's not like a wide, it's just longer, okay? But that's all I've done. I haven't even got to the peacock or whatever the bird's called. But some of these beads are bigger than other ones. And so I'm kind of running into some space issues. So I don't know if I needed like what's the next step beyond 14? Is there a 12 or is it 11? 11 count? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that would be too big, like the holes would be too big for that. Anyway, so I'm just gonna keep trying on this. I just work on this every once in a while. It's not like I'm not trying to finish it by a certain time is what I'm saying. And it's just kind of like a pick up and do it when I get sick of everything else I'm doing. So I worked on that, and it's like an experiment. I really want to see if I can get it done or do it and it look good on my own, because like I said, I think it costs like $34 for the kit on Amazon, but that included all the beads and everything, and so in the pattern, and so I'm like, why don't I just try that? That pattern's in there for a reason. So okay, I'm going to show you the new thing that I started, I would say, I guess 2 weeks ago, and tell you my experience with that. So I'll be right back again. Okay, so I told you that I wanted to start knitting because I wanted a project to do in the car, and I couldn't do cross stitch, it's too hard. The car we go in is too bouncy, and it's just like I can't even get the needle in the hole because of all the bouncing. So I tried my hand at knitting, and I ordered this starter kit, which included a ball of yarn, some needles, and some other little doodads or whatever, but there wasn't really, and then I was supposed to take, I signed up to take this class, which I haven't yet because I haven't just got around to it yet. But I have been, and it's through a company called Paisley Pearl. Well, I have been sending her, her name is Rachel. I have been sending her a lot of messages, and she's so good at responding, and she tries to help me out. So I feel like I am getting lessons. And she did post some videos on her Facebook group that kind of showed me how to, like, I didn't know how to cast on. I didn't know what a knit stitch was. I didn't know what a purl stitch was. I didn't know how to do that. Okay, so I decided, after I got this kit, I saw that they had these mystery boxes. And the mystery box is supposed to be, you get one every month, and it's a pattern and the yarn for a square, like a blanket square. And after after like, I guess, a year or whatever, you put all the squares together and make a blanket. But the mystery also there's like clues, and it has to do with books. I didn't even really care about that. I mean, that's a fun idea, but I just wanted the yarn in the pattern, okay? So I got the yarn, the pattern, but I was like, you know what? I need to practice doing this before I use the good yarn. I need to practice on that starter ball of yarn first. And so I did, not knowing that this pattern has something in it called lace. It's like a lace pattern, and I had to learn what knit two together and yarn over means, and I was like, this is like way more advanced than what I thought that I was gonna be doing. But I decided I was just gonna try it, and I did. And this is not, listen, I have made so many mistakes in this square of yarn that it is not funny, but I'm actually kind of proud of it, and I am going to include this in my blanket. I don't care if it matches or not. So there's my first blanket square. And you can see in there somewhere there's a pattern. But like I said, I messed up so much. It really isn't a pattern. It's just like random holes. Random holes. But this is a really pretty, it's a really pretty yarn called Purple Rain, I think is the color. When you look at it like this, you can see the pattern kind of, but I'm gonna include it in my blanket. It's so soft. I get to see like knitting it and just sleeping with it. Anyway, I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited about my square. So, okay, so this is the story about okay, so I decided, okay, well, I'm gonna try to do this. Now that I think I have it kind of down pat, I'm going to try to knit with the yarn that came with the mystery box. I'm gonna try to do the same thing. Okay, so the yarn, what was different and what I didn't know, and now I do, is that I guess most independent yarn dyers do their yarn in a hank, which is, I kind of think that's similar to like a skein or some skein. How do you say that? Anyway, it's not a ball. It's not a ball of yarn that you pull out from the center. It is like it's just a loop. Okay? And those of you who know how to knit, you're like, yeah, duh. Okay. I didn't know that there was, I just thought it was a different looking kind of ball or something. And so I just grabbed a piece of that yarn from the skein or from the hank and started pulling it. Needless to say, my yarn is destroyed. I tangled that stuff up so much. I didn't know there were little ties on the hank that I had to untie. I didn't know that I was supposed to roll it into a ball in order to work with. I didn't know any of that stuff. I just thought I could knit straight from that thing, and I was wrong. Okay, so I did finally manage to, I was so frustrated, but I was also kind of laughing, so I was like, this is so typical of me. I managed to untangle a portion of it, and I looked on YouTube and found out how to use a empty toilet paper roll, you know, like the cardboard, and somehow self-wind the yarn around it to make into like a yarn cake or a muffin or ball, whatever. And so this is what I've done. This is it. Okay. But it was so tangled and knotted. I'm talking knots that could not get undone because I was just pulling on it. So embarrassed. I actually ended up having to cut this yarn. I may have completely screwed up like the color way or whatever, but I had to do it. I had to. I couldn't untangle it. So I tried to piece it back together. So this is just another, and I did, and I don't know what I did. I tied it together somehow. I don't know if it's gonna work, but it's a learning lesson. It is a learning lesson, okay? And I don't really care. So this is what I've done so far on this next square though. So I'm doing pretty good. I haven't picked up, I think in that other square, I picked up like 10 stitches. I don't know how. And this one so far, I think I'm kind of keeping close to the original amount that I cast on. But this is gonna look a lot different colors until I get to the part where I tied it on, and then it's just, I don't know. But this one also, no matter what it looks like and how bad it looks, if it looks anything close to this, I'm going to put it in this blanket because it's just a reminder of this is what you did when you first started learning how to knit. Also, I'm kind of proud of myself because I'm doing that lace stitch thing, and I think that's kind of pretty good for just doing it, not knowing how to knit for that long, 2 weeks. So that's my adventure, but I took it in the car with me when we moved my son back to college, and I had no problem doing it in the car. So I can see this being something that I really get into, especially when we travel. I also have ordered a actual yarn ball winder, and that is on its way because I have a feeling that toilet paper roll thing ain't gonna last very long. Okay, so that is my yarn, my yarn and knitting adventure. It's okay. Okay, now I have ordered something that I really wanted to show you, but I can't find it. So I'm gonna have to go find it, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I found it. I put it out in the garage of all places. So I was watching a video by Danielle Stitcherista, and she was talking about something called Brooks Books. She does a lot of stitching on the perforated, how do you say that word? Anyway, so I was like, you know what? I'm enjoying doing this Mill Hill kit. It seems like it's, you know, it's not overwhelming as far as cross stitching. And so I'm gonna order one and see. And so I picked out one that I thought was pretty and I liked the colors. And it's called Spirit of the Sugar Plum Fairy. And that's what it's supposed to look like. Okay, and then it comes with all the directions on how exactly, and the patterns of how exactly I'm supposed to do it. And also there's a different pattern if you decide you don't want to do it on the perforated whatever paper, then you could do it on you know, just regular fabric. Where did that thing, oh, hold on, it's right here. Okay, this is part of what I ordered. Okay, so in the kit, it just comes with the perforated paper, these 2 sizes, and these beads. These are the only beads that go with it. They're like a pretty pale pink, ballet pink beads, okay? And then you have to get all the other threads on your own, order them. So I went through my thread collection, which is not good, and of course I didn't have any of them. So I ordered the thread. But then when I was looking through the kit and reading the directions, it said that part of it's supposed to be, I was supposed to get not 2 pieces of brown, I was supposed to get 1 silver. And then looking at the picture, where did I put that picture? Yeah. Like some of it is supposed to be on silver, like her wings, I think. They're not on brown. Like you can see the edge of the brown here. But like, anyway, so I was like, I really need the silver. Well, I sent an email saying I didn't get the silver like it called for in the kit, and I haven't heard anything back. So I just decided to take it into my own hands, and I went on Amazon and I found a pack of silver metallic paper. And you know, this will do, I'll have to cut out. There's I think 3 designs I have to put on the silver, and so I'll just cut them out. So, but I wanted the silver. So I got that on my own. And then I ordered from 123 Stitch, the pack, it comes with, it has Krynic, is that how you say it? It's like the metallic thread. I heard, oh, my battery level is getting low, so I better hurry this up. But this is everything that I got in my pack that I ordered. So you see all those pretty colors, the pinks and purples and the light greens, and then look at those metallic ones. I heard these are hard to stitch with, so any tips on how to work with them would be awesome. So this is another thing that I would like to start pretty soon. I might even start it before I finish the snowman one. I don't know. But aren't those pretty colors? They make me happy. So that is the one new thing that I've ordered, I guess, since my last FlossTube that I've received. And I'm just trying to, I really don't need anything new. I've got tons of patterns. The projects I have everything that I need for them. And there's a couple of things that I have ordered a while back that I am still waiting on. One of them has been held in customs. It's a diamond painting. It's been held in customs for, I ordered it in May, and it's in the United States according to the tracking, but it has been there for a while, and I don't have any idea when I'm gonna get it, but it's okay. It can take its time. I mean, because I'm not gonna be doing it anytime soon. And then the other is a beaded cross stitch that I ordered the beginning of July, and it was shipped from Russia, and it is, it's been over a month, and it's still on its way here. On a boat or something. I'm not really sure. I think I was expecting it to take a long time. And like I said, I've got all these other projects to keep me busy. So, you know, I'm like, well, whenever you get here, it'll be all right. Just as long as you get here. I'm in no hurry. Okay, that is it for my FlossTube for this week. And hopefully I will do another one when I make more progress in some of these projects, or when my husband goes back to work. Who knows? All right, okay. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you are new to my channel, and you aren't a subscriber, and you know, like my channel and all the other stuff you're supposed to do. And I just really appreciate you giving me a watch. and I am new to all of these crafts, pretty new. And so any tips, any links or anything that you want to put down in the comments just to guide me, or you think I might like, just according to my taste, feel free to do that. I appreciate it. All right, y'all, bye. See you later.